Good morning, folks. Welcome to the first episode of Grandpa's Garage. So today we're going to be rebuilding a Kubota loader, front end loader cylinder off a Kubota LA 272, I believe it is, loader off our Kubota tractor at the ranch. It's got some age. I think the tractor was built in 2018, 16, something like that. I don't know the actual age. But as you can see, it's been leaking right here around this seal. I already broke this nut loose. So we're gonna get it cleaned up a little bit here. Take these seals apart. I've never done one before, so this will be first time me, first time you kind of thing. So hopefully this video helps you guys. We got 4 of them to do. I'm only gonna do one today as a trial run to see how hard it is, and then we'll do the other 4 another day. But anyway, so I'm gonna get started here, getting things set up, getting the cylinder cleaned up and everything, so that you guys can see how this goes. All right, guys, we're back. Haven't cleaned it up yet. Just wanted to show you this. This is the kit number for this particular cylinder. It is based on the serial number of your tractor. There's 2 kits out there for this particular loader, and it was based on the serial number. But all 4 cylinders that we're redoing all use the same kits. They're all the same size diameter. We should have all the O-rings we need in this kit to rebuild this cylinder. I think there's actually might be 2 extra ones in here as well. You're also with this blue ring right here, this blue O-ring. You're going to need a tool like this, one of these kind of tools that takes it, and I'll show you this later in the video, but it's going to take and bend that ring because one of those has got to go inside the cylinder. You're going to need some pick tools. I just went to Harbor Freight and I have some cheap ones here. We'll see how they work. There's better ones. I always like also having a little tweaker, little flathead screwdriver so you can do things. And then I also got some brake cleaner so that we can clean up stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and spray a little brake cleaner. I like to wear gloves working with a hydraulic fluid because it stinks when you get it on you, and it comes off fairly easy. I just don't like smelling like hydraulic fluid. So I'm going to get my gloves on. I'm going to clean up the cylinder, and then I'll start taking it apart and show you how to do that. Got my gloves on. I don't know if I'm going to keep wearing these, but at least in the first part we will. So I got some towels here. Get a little brake cleaner on this. Try to clean this cylinder up a little bit. It don't take a lot, but that's some pretty good brake cleaner. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. Where the pins we're going through, there's lots of grease on this, so I'm not going to worry about cleaning that out that much. I'll clean that out better when we take it. I just want to get the parts that, parts that we're going to touch a lot, try to get most of that grease off of there. There it goes. Whew. Either I'm old. I mean, it is Grandpa's Garage, right? I must be getting older in my old age. But here you go. So there is no O-rings in here. The threads all look good. It's just basically a tube. There's no oil left in it. That's nice. But yeah, just a tube, empty tube. Threads all look good. Actually, all in all, it looks really good inside there. No damage. I wasn't expecting to be much damage because, I already expected the rod here, the rod stock. So that's one thing you want to do when you're inspecting these. Obviously that. We got the bad O-rings right here. We're going to get to those in a second. But what usually takes out these seals, if it doesn't deteriorate over time, is you'll get pitting on this chrome plating on these rod stocks, and it'll wreck your seals. You can see where this seal has been leaking right here. So that's just all that seal there, that O-ring on the outside, from my understanding, it just keeps moisture from going down in the cylinder. But on the inside, this blue, which you'll see here in a minute, this blue seal on the inside, that's actually the one that holds the oil pressure in there for you, keeps the hydraulic oil in the cylinder. That's the one I think is leaking as well. So I think this one's leaking, allowing oil in, and I think the one inside here is leaking. We're obviously, you're not just going to do one. You're going to do them all while you're in here, because why wouldn't you? So we're going to get this apart. I hear this is really hard to get off. I'm going to try to put my impact on it and see if I can get it to break loose, but we'll find out. So you and I will find out together. How's that sound? So I'm going to put it right up in the vise. Pretty sure it's 19 millimeter. Yep, 19 millimeter. It actually might be a standard thread, but 19 is going to work. Get my impact gun. So I have the Ryobi 1/2-inch impact gun, and before you start judging Ryobi, and you know, you DeWalt guys out there, hey, Grandpa spends his money on his grandkids, not on his tools. I just buy tools that work, and that Ryobi hasn't let me down yet. I don't expect today to be any different, but we'll find out. But like I have seen guys hit this with the Milwaukee, the high power Milwaukee, not be able to budge that nut. So we're gonna find out what happens right here. You and I both. Ready? Here we go. Look at that. Ryobi power right there. Did the job just fine. Got that off of there. Put that nut over here where you guys can see all that stuff. Let me get some tools out of your purvey. So here's a close-up of those seals. Looks like we got 3 on this one. You got a green one. Clean that up so you can see it a little bit. We got a green, 2 green ones and a yellow. So I'm going to set this over here out of the way for right now. Also, you want to kind of remember how you took this off. One side is flat. That goes on the inside towards the cylinder. This is the side the nut was on. So it's got a beveled edge. Make sure you don't put that backwards when you take it off. Of course, I have this video. I can go back and look if I did that wrong. But now that I told you guys, I shouldn't get it wrong. So, all right. So then we take this guy off. Oh, don't forget there's a little O-ring on the end of your rod right here too, which we'll get him off here in a second. I'm going to lay all those O-rings out. I like doing that with all my O-ring projects. I have changed O-rings not on cylinders before and other things, but I'm the kind of guy, and I don't know if you guys do this too, but I lay things out as I take them off. That way I don't lose them when I go. And that you can see that, well, it's that blue ring, but it's green on this one. And I can just feel that it is all tore up right here. Obviously there's been some dirts and rocks and stuff that built up on this. I don't know if you guys can see that right here. So we're gonna pick all that stuff out of there and clean it up. I might have to hit it with a little bit of sandpaper to smooth it out a little bit, but yep, that's what happened. We had got some debris down in there and it wrecked that seal. I can even see on the inside. I don't know if you guys can see that on the inside of that seal on the inside, right here, especially right here on that bottom side. I don't know if you can see that or not. I apologize, but you'll have to take my word for it if you can't see it. It is totally messed up. Guys, these seals are a one-time use. You're not going to be able to get them off without wrecking them. So if you're going to do this project, do them all. Just plan on doing all the seals. You're not going to be able to reuse any of the seals. If you manage to get them out of there in somewhat good shape, they're not going to last long after you pick them out of there because of the nature of the beast of doing this project. So, all right. So I'm going to start with the rod seal. So there's a little O-ring on the end of this rod. I'm going to take that off. There's our first O-ring that was on the end of the rod. I'm going to set it up in the corner, and I know now that's the rod one. So let's find that one in this bag right here. So here's I'm getting all our seals out. Gonna find the ones I need as I go walk through this. Like I said, there's gonna be a lot more seals here than you need, way more than you need. So just keep that in mind. So I'm gonna start separating out all my seals over here on the ground or over on the bench. And I'll line them up all here as I do it. The top row is going to be I cleaned up the parts. They cleaned up really good, as you can see. I cleaned up the rod as well. There are 2 more O-rings, so we're going to get those off. I was going to do it off camera. I'm like, well, you know, since we're doing 4 of these, and if I have to go back and reference, I want to make sure I got it done right. So, and I don't know, maybe you guys are like me. You're trying to do one of these yourself, and you just need a little thing. So there's actually 3 O-rings on here. There's one way up here, you know, so we're going to take him off. These ones are pretty easy to get off, especially when you throw them on the floor like that. There's the one at the top. Make some space over here in my O-ring pile. So we're going to do it in order. So the one at the top, and he should be this guy right here. This guy right here. Then we got another one right here. Yeah, there are two O-rings together. One's a square one, one's a round one. The square one was against that square edge right here on this thing, right here. So the square one goes on the inside, or the outside technically, because this is the outside, and the round one goes on the inside. So I got a square one and a round one. So we'll put those guys right here. And there they are. So there we go. So there's your O-rings. Like I said, we have an extra O-ring. I'm not worried about that because there is no other O-rings on this that I can see anywhere. That was all. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. What's this right here? Nope, that's just threads. Okay, so yeah, you guys could probably see that better on camera. No other O-rings that I can see. So we're just going to start putting this thing back together. I'm going to start with the O-ring that goes all the way up against this lip, and we're just going to roll that on gently. We don't want to obviously damage the O-ring in any way, shape, or form. So we're just going to pull that up in there, trying not to stretch it too much, but you got to get it up over those threads. So we're just going to work it around those threads, trying to get it up in place, just like that. And then where's my little tweaker? So he's up where he belongs. And of course, as you tighten this down tight, it's going to push that O-ring right up in there and seal it in good. But so that's our first one. Our next one is going to be that square O-ring, the square one. He's going to go in this groove. He's going to go in that groove right here. And so right towards the back. This should be fairly easy. I'm trying not to bend it or like roll it over. I'm just trying to, you know, give it a slight roll, but making sure that it's all even all the way around, nice and even all the way around, sits flat against that edge like it's supposed to. That's good. Next one is the rubber one. He's going to go on here like so. I've never been accused of not having enough words. That's just so you guys know. I've always been accused of having more than enough words. All right, so that takes care of those 3 on the outside. Now for the fun one on the inside. And like I told you, that the groove is going to go outwards, or inwards, sorry. The flat part of that groove, this blue one, is going to go on the inside there. It's going to go down. So I'm going to try to use one of these tools. Again, I like tools, but I've never used one of these tools. Watched a couple videos on how to do it. So you just basically put it on here. Whoop. Helps if I did it right. Just slide it over here. And I know there's like 5 of you watching this video going, oh my word, this guy, who taught him how to use this thing? Well, nobody did. I taught myself. So that's probably the problem, isn't it? So there you go. So anyway, we're going to turn it in. Looks like that. It rolled up on itself. I almost had it that time too, people. How many of you are laughing at this video going, oh, you're just commenting going, oh, you guys watch this. There we go. Got her that time. All you naysayers, I got you that time. But I put it on upside down, didn't I? Because the groove has to go up. So it's got to go in like this. How do I know that it goes in like this? Well, because I took the other one off and I was paying attention to it. So that groove goes up. Doesn't matter. I don't really know if it matters or not. See how that tool bends that right over? Allows me to put it right into the groove in there. I can let her off. And bang. Makes that a lot easier. Like I said, can you do that without that tool? Yeah, I saw a guy do it without a tool. Can I do it without that tool? Probably. It'd take me a lot longer, but you can see it's nice and in there, all the way nice and sealed inside that groove. Good job, Cav. Grandpa Cav. All right, so now it's for this seal. Again, same thing. Grooves on the outside on this one, though, based on how we got it. And this is just presses in, like a bearing almost. And so this one just going to press in. So I'm just going to take a little hammer. I just wasn't hitting hard enough. All right, so that's in there. Should work now. It does. All right. All right, we're halfway there. So I have some Kubota hydraulic oil here. Put a little bit in a cap. I don't like putting these seals in dry. I don't think you're supposed to put them in dry anyway, so you guys know. So I'm just coating that, the inside of this with some oil so I can slide it back on the rod. That is so nice. What a difference in those seals compared to what the other one was like. So, all right. And I'm not going to go too much further than that because we are going to oil down the rod as well when we get it all set. So, all right, let's move on to our inner seal. Again, flat side goes towards the ram, or towards that side. But anyway, so we'll start with those. Oh, where are they? The inner one first. All right, got it in there. It's not rolled any. That went pretty good. I didn't stretch it out. At least I don't think I stretched it out too bad. Now for the yellow one. This one is plastic. It doesn't feel like it's, it doesn't feel, or I know it's plastic. Actually, this, the green ones and the yellow one's plastic. That O-ring in the middle is a rubber one. That's maybe why they put twos, because they gives it some flexibility, but I hear this is a little bit of a pain to get over this edge. So we're going to work on it together, you and me both. It's definitely in there. It's in there. I may have stretched that a little bit too much. We'll find out. It's a little more stretched than it looks like, but than it's supposed to be, but we'll find out. All right, we'll put the last two on here. The last two green ones go back and on. These ones are fairly simple because they have the slot cut right in them. So they just go on like kind of like a snap ring. So those are in. And I don't know if you're supposed to have those slots lined up in the same spot or not. I'm going to give them a little twist. I don't know if that matters. I'm going to take a little oil on my finger, lubricate all this down. Lubricating it all down so I can have so it slips on a little easier, I hope. Just lube it all up. That's what I'm doing. All right, so there's that. And this guy, like I said, flat side down. Like so. Put the nut on there, like so. Now, that O-ring sits right here. Right there, inside there. All right, back into the vise we go. I know what you guys are wondering. Kevin, aren't you going to torque that to specs? Sure. I just did. I don't know what the specs are. It might be in the service manual that I have for this thing, but I don't think it really matters too much. That impact gun will put that down pretty tight on that thing, and I can't see it. There's no, the pressure pushing against that, there's like 3 or 4 threads sticking out just like there was. It's on there nice and tight. I can't see it putting so much pressure on this thing that it absolutely goes crazy and loosens up inside there. This backhoe isn't under that much pressure, or under that much stress, in other words. So I think we're going to be okay. But I have been wrong once or twice in my life, lots of times in my life. So you never know. I could be wrong, and we might have to come, and we end up taking this whole thing back apart because I did something wrong. But I'm going to take a chance and hope that I don't have to torque that any more than I do. Going to oil this up pretty good, like buttering corn cob. We're going to push this back on. Get this to go back in there. I'm actually going to put it on the floor so I have more. There it goes. There it goes. And so, and then oil this one up as well. This one doesn't matter as much because there's no, you know, that rod doesn't go up. But yeah, that's the project. Not real complicated. Took me probably, if I went from start to finish without having to grab all the tools I needed and stuff, it was probably an hour's project. Skill level, doesn't take a lot of skill. I think anybody pretty much can do it. Cylinder. Yeah. We all knew that was going to happen, didn't we? Yeah, because my workbench isn't secure. It moves all over on the floor. But yep, so I won't know until I put it on the tractor, but we'll go put it back on the tractor this afternoon, hook it back up, grease up the pinholes and stuff. I might do a little more cleaning in the pinholes where they are because there's some dried grease, especially on this side. I find that just about everything can be fixed if you have the time and patience to do it. So anyway, thanks guys for watching. Grandpa's Garage.